How was the waterworks, Bishop? How was the waterworks? It's good. Did you go over there? Yes, sir. Okay.
The gunfire around us makes it hard to hear. But the human voice is different from other sounds. It can be heard over noises that bury everything else, even when it's not shouting. Even if it's just a whisper. Even the lowest whisper can be heard over armies when it's telling the truth. And I'll say that last line again. Even the lowest whisper can be heard over armies when it's telling the truth. That's a line from The Interpreter, but oh, how true the words. Good afternoon. My name is Marqueis Neely. The spelling Marqueis. Last name Neely. I'm a contractor for the city of Selma as a community relations liaison. And first, I want to thank each of you for being here today to receive and hopefully disseminate the facts which will be presented. The primary reason you've all been invited is because my company, NPG LLC, whose contract has been vetted and validated by a proper Selma City Council vote, is now in question, resulting in me not being paid for the services I've rendered. The contract for services began on July 15, 2021. I've been paid every time, on time, until May 27, 2022, which is the first day I wasn't. So I asked, what changed? Today I'm owed approximately $15,000. And I say to you and anyone listening that this is fractions of a penny compared to the $1 million, the millions of dollars that our local government handles at any given time. In the essence of time, I can tell you with confidence that the stack of documents that I have here are bona fide facts. But I'll streamline you through the timeline because you cannot alter the truth. First, here I have a contract that was given to the city attorney, Major Madison, and passed along to Mayor Perkins Jr. without any objections or edits. But now, after months and months of service, there's an issue. If I were an attorney critiquing this incident from afar, I'd say this appears to be quote unquote ineffective assistance of counsel to the Selma City Council and to the mayor for that fact. Also here, a resolution to veto the said contract that was adopted on July 25th. And with it a memo dated July 22nd, giving reason for the veto from Mayor Perkins. And if I could, I'd like to highlight a few of those reasons Mayor Perkins gave. He said that the passage of this contract would plummet, the morale of the police department would plummet upon passage of this contract. He said officers were mad and would speak in a public setting, in a public meeting. That public meeting took place several times. Not one officer came forward, and can I tell you why? Because there wasn't an officer that was mad about the contract that wanted to come forward and speak. This was a fallacy that was created by Mayor Perkins, which often happens. Again, he said, I had no performance record to show for the services I wanted to render. I draw your attention to a board that I have here that I kept for years. It's not to boast. It actually humbles me in knowing where I came from. I have a great working relationship with the Selma Police Department, with the supervisors and staff, as well as officers coming out of the police academy currently. Another fallacy Mayor Perkins created. He said the contract would do more harm than good, and it would become more of a burden. And I say to you, to the citizens, of all the ward meetings we've had, who else has come forward? Who else has taken a step forward to invest in the safety of our beloved city? I've gotten memos from Mayor Perkins and his employees in an attempt to intimidate, to bully, to torment, and any other term of subjugation. In my highly agreed upon opinion, Mayor Perkins' character and leadership style is that of a dictator, and it is a plague to our city. I've recently seen a no confidence resolution passed in Union Springs, Alabama, and at the rate that we're going, I can tell you we're not far from that. Mayor Perkins' employees are, in my opinion, coerced into situations they otherwise wouldn't be involved in, causing conflict across the city. And you see it time and time again. And I say to his employees, do not be afraid. Do not be scared. Do not be intimidated. And as I close, I state that the real state of emergency is with our fellow citizens. And I say that because they have to make a choice each and every day. They have to make the choice to work under the conditions of his leadership and be miserable every day, or not speak up, or I retract, or speak up and not get paid and worry about how they'll pay their bills each and every day. And that isn't a choice that we should have to be worried about making, working for the city of Selma. As I canvass the crowd, I see supporters that have been in ward meetings. I see individuals who have dealt personally with the mayor. And I'm not afraid to speak up because it's all fact. Here, I have letters who have been written to the council. Here are reports that have been done by the local law enforcement. I can tell you, it is, and you have to have a lot of courage to do something like this, because you will receive retaliation. There's no doubt about it. You will receive retaliation. But if you stand on what's right, those who know what's right will support you. That is my statement that I wanted to give. Pending any questions, I'll conclude this press conference.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Who's the young lady behind you?
I'm glad you mentioned that. This is my girlfriend, Kiana Page. She is with child. We are waiting any day now to have this baby. That is a lot of pressure and stress on her that I shouldn't be having. Every day that I come to a council meeting or every email that I take, she's the one who has to hear these conversations when I come home. So it's not just a stressor on me. It's not just about me. And it's not just about the pay. It's about the unborn future. It's about the citizens of Selma who deserve better treatment. The employees who deserve better treatment.
Do you intend to take any legal action against the mayor for holding your checks?
I have done a police report, several police reports with Selma Police Department. I have done a police report with the Dallas County Sheriff's Office. I have filed I have filed with the Ethics Commission and the Attorney General's Office. I am going to go through the proper steps, and I have gone through the proper steps. But it is vitally important that citizens know that you should not be scared to speak up. We have a First Amendment right, and you should exercise it.
So you haven't heard back from any of these agencies, or no one has indicated that they're willing to pursue charges, or has the Attorney General Has he given an opinion on this case yet?
There has not been an opinion on the case. There has been communication, and things are pending.
Who is your ultimate audience here? I mean, you got some media folks. You're hoping we put out the word. Who is to what end? What leverage do you hope that we would provide you to seek your remedy?
Brad, I'm glad you asked that question, because while we have media, while it was sent to several people near and far, the ultimate goal, because we live here in Selma, Dallas County, was for the citizens of Selma, Dallas County to be able to hear and see someone who lives here speak up about being wrong. It's okay to speak up about being wrong. You should not be censored or suppressed in how you feel or your treatment, regardless of, the retaliation you will get. In war, I see one of my supporters over here that's in the unit that I'm in, Sergeant Malik. In war, you'll get battle wounds, but it's necessary. You will have liabilities and you will have casualties, but sometimes it's necessary for the greater good of the city of Selma. Any question?
Well, I guess the last question would be, do you have another form of or you have other ways of income, and coming into your household
Yes,
to survive?
this is not my only form of income. And I would like to say this. As a man, there should have been preventive measures which were taken on our end to handle this at the lowest level. It shouldn't have to come to this point. There is so much more and so many larger issues going on within our city when we speak of infrastructure and things like that. We're talking about pennies. We're talking about pennies, and I won't give opinion. I have plenty of opinion. Today, I just wanted to state fact, and fact is what I have right here.
Do you have anything from the mayor that says why he didn't want, other than what you mentioned earlier, does he say why he doesn't want to give you your checks?
No, there has been, I'll say this as well, and I only come to City Hall to pay my taxes. I only come to City Hall for a council meeting or a work session. I only come to City Hall to pick up my check. When I come in to get my check, I'm told by the treasurer that who doesn't come to any council meetings, that I need to sit down and have a conversation with the mayor. In attempt, I do not know what the conversation is about. If there was a conversation to be had, I feel that conversation should have been taken well before the veto of a contract. Well before you go on social media platforms and newspapers and degrade me and my company. I'm a man of character. My service, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. And so I had no issue of sitting and speaking with the mayor until we passed that point. I think the mayor bit off more than he can chew at this point. And, I would just leave it at that.
Before you stopped getting your checks, was there a procedure in place? How did you get your check before? And did you have to authorize someone to pick up a check for you, or how did that work?
What we usually, what happened for about a year or close to it is I would fill out an invoice. It would get signed by the council. It would be taken down to the finance office. And when it was time to get paid, I would get paid. You would have to, when I come to get paid, I would sign for my check. And see, this is where the ethics issue comes into place. Where is the check that had my company's name on it? Where is the check, and who transported the check from the finance office to the mayor's office? If it's there, who says it's not cash? I cannot answer that question. No one knows where it is. And so, again, there has to be two parties involved or more because someone had to sign for the check, someone has to hold the check. It has been transported from one place to another. And so there's a lot of parties involved. I don't know the specifics of it, and that's why we are where we are.
So you were required to sign for your check initially.
Every time.
And if you weren't able to do that, did you have to authorize someone to get
The
it
only
for you?
authorized person is Ms. Carnita Ellison that's standing right here. That's the only authorized person to sign for the check, which she has done on several occasions.
The veto. So what was the date on that thing again?
The veto was adopted on the 25th of July, 2021.
Okay, so the council can overrule that veto with a 2/3 vote of the total body, not who was there that day.
Yes, sir.
All right, and to your knowledge, has anyone from the council told you, is that on the agenda tonight?
You know, I've gone to the council several times, and we've spoken about the council. They are doing everything they can within their control to handle this situation. So they've been cooperative. The only uncooperative party are those of the mayor and the mayor's office, which are his employees.
Well, I understand that the mayor doesn't have the authority to veto a contract. I don't, legally, that's under the preview of the city council, and
Correct.
so I don't see why he would be able to veto a check.
Well, he doesn't have the authorization, to my understanding. Again, I stay in my lane, and my lane is to go to the proper parties, which is the council, which is who I have my contract with. However, the council engages with the mayor as far as communication, I let them handle that. And I kind of stray back, but I also, again, my primary reason for today is the exposure. The citizens need to know, do not be afraid, and I can't speak on anyone else's situation because I don't know what litigation is going on, but I see Mr. Marqueis Snow. I know he's had, several encounters, I know this for a fact. There's a city employee who was just, put on administrative leave without pay. For what? I urge you to go watch the council meetings because I really don't want to speak on their situations, but, people need to be involved and know what's going on in the city to know why things are going on. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate the support of everyone over here. Even if you're not a supporter, if you're listening, this is a message for you near and far. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Have the fortitude to fight through what you're going through and keep praying. Thank you.